Hello everyone, my name is Raven, and today I figured I would do a bit of solo hourglass, cause duo didn't seem so bad, so, what could possibly go wrong when you play it by yourself, you know what I mean? And, the easiest way to put this is my first game on during Golden Glory. It's my first one of these Golden Glory weekends and whatnot ever, and, I figure I could probably get a good bit of reputation and do all this good stuff here to get progress towards the curse. Turns out, though, in the first opening volley of my first match, I kind of realized that this guy means business, and he means it a lot more than I do, because he was able to hit a lot more of his cannon shots than I could. I mean, granted, I'm not that good on cannons at a range like this, but I just couldn't keep up with this guy. He was able to get proper pressure and even one-ball me from that distance. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it why he was popping off. I was trying to think about it while I was repairing my wheel and my mast and everything. And we go in for another pass against each other. I'm trying to get, warmed up and get chain shots on him, but I only really managed to hit one, and he managed to completely destroy my mast with two follow-up chain shots. I'm trying to repair the thing, and he is doing real good to guard that, having to bunk it and do all this stuff while he's just slamming me from a distance. So I know I just have to get him off of cannons, but only one shot will only do so much. I can only do so much as a single man, so I figured I would just try to get pressure on him while also trying to relieve myself of it. Can't really go for IR reach hits, gotta just do cannon shots here. And it made me kind of wary of who this guy was, who I was dealing with, because as you can see, I couldn't even leave the buckets for a millisecond, it seems like. I had so many holes so quickly. And he just had a perfect spiral the entire time. For a warm-up game, this was definitely an uphill battle. I just couldn't get my footing, and as soon as I realized he's not on his boat, see him on the side of mine, everything makes sense. I fumbled my throwables, and I had one firebomb instead of my blunders. Guy was skelly cursed out. I had no chance. So we went ahead and queued up for our next game, and let me tell you, I don't get quick matches a lot of the time. A lot of my games go 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That first game was one of the fastest ones I have had so far. Now, if anything has shown me chain shots are important, it was that Skelly man that I just fought. So I opened up with chain shots on this guy, and they were actually pretty well aimed for once, but I think I couldn't get good follow-up because of how my helming skills are. They're still a work in progress, of course, so I couldn't really get anything going here. I mean, my cannon shots are not the best either, but I think it was mainly because of positioning here that I couldn't do a lot, and that's one of those things that I will have to build up skill towards. I mean, look at this. I almost sunk because I was trying to get that pressure, and that's not a good place to be. You want to be able to get that pressure and not be so close to sinking, obviously, and be in a better position. As you can see, I didn't get anything done here, really, just wasting cannonballs. So after a bit of resetting, we go in for another pass on each other, and it's not really going that great for me. Like, I had a really good opening, but as the fight goes on, I just kind of noticed that I just wasn't hitting as many shots. And you can kind of see, as this fucking fight is going on, it's almost nighttime. It's sunsetting right now. It's just daytime. I have so many of these where we're just exchanging fights for so long, exchanging cannons, I mean, for so long, repairing, going back and forth, just nobody really, like, settling it, if you know what I mean. Like, we're not finishing the fight, we're kind of just poking at each other. And it doesn't really bode well for, you know, videos or even just fun in general. Like, you don't want to sit here and fight somebody, the same guy, for 20 and 30 minutes sometimes, like, I spent 4 hours solo hourglassing on the first day of Golden Glory, and it was brutal because of how many times I'd have fights like this where it's just battles of attrition over and over again, and that can wear you down. That motivation just goes plummeting. But I guess back to the fights. We start doing some more passes again, and I think I ran out of chain shots after a few of these. Like I was able to get one, but I can't capitalize on anything because he's getting good hits on me, and I'm getting subpar hits on this guy at best. But I started kind of dialing in a little bit, and I actually got to kill him there with the cannons. But again, because of my holes, I just couldn't go over there and seal the deal. I couldn't do much. And see, like, I'm almost sunk again because of that. I'm trying to find my rhythms here on repairing and angle and all this, and it's a hard thing to learn for me personally because I haven't done a lot of PvP in this game. But this man was able to get my mass down in this pass, and I feel like this is where the beginning of the end really started for me. But I was able to put more pressure on him than he could me in that instance, even though he got my mast and whatnot. But a backsplash of my own doing will be what ends me there, sadly. Now, upon entering my third fight of the day, I recognized the name. I had recognized it, and I was just hoping, like, oh, hopefully it's someone else. And no, this was the guy I fought in the first round. But he didn't open with cannon fire, which I thought was a little weird. And eventually it started to show up why that was. And it turns out this guy was just trying to be nice. He was a merciful man, and he offered me essentially, like, if I just gave him the win, he would help me get a little bit of progress, essentially, giving me a couple K we can turn in together. And, after a few losses that I had, I went ahead and admired the man's ship while he cashed in all the good stuff. We got a little bit of money, and you know what? I'm not ashamed of it. I said my goodbyes and my thank yous to this man because he's one of those people that just seemed like good hearted. I appreciated what he did. Anyways, we go to another fight, and I figured I just got to keep pushing, obviously. Like, it's not going to happen quickly or easily. You just got to keep going. Opening volley, not the worst, but I realize I have a bit of a gamer on my hands here when he opens with chain shots. And it's kind of weird how nobody commits to the spirals. Like, you watch a bunch of videos on this kind of stuff before you do it, and you see everybody just, spirals each other. But these guys only want to spiral if you have mass down. And that's quite interesting to me. It's kind of like, it's not like the simulations at all kind of thing, but you just gotta kind of have to adapt to these players, I've learned. It's one of those things, kind of have to adapt and learn at the same time. But anyway, this guy was crazy about my mast. He would always take that down. I didn't have any chances to even repair it. And then he came in for a nice sweep on me while I was trying to repair and fix myself. But I just couldn't do anything really because my wheel was broken. I had holes. All this. This guy was so good at applying the pressure to me that I hardly could keep up with him, I feel. But eventually I started actually hitting his masts. I started hitting like his actual ship with my cannonballs. I actually started landing shots. I even got him a few times too. Like I actually managed to kill him on cannons. I think it was like once or twice, which that always feels good. So after getting that one ball on him, I tried to get angle on him since he was completely behind me. So I had to fully raise my sails and kind of hope that I kind of drifted into the angle and try to apply more pressure on his ship while he was on the ferry. And I realized that I'd get rammed if I didn't start moving. So I tried to just get in a better spot in general. And I got a few hits and all that. He even gave me a firebomb, to say thank you, but it just wasn't enough again. So we have to basically go and do another round of all this song and dance until we actually find out who was going to settle this. But I was able to get his mast on this pass, and I thought this is fantastic.
I'm gonna actually jump on him. And let me tell y'all, I mean, I don't have to tell y'all, my pirate to pirate is very hard to watch. But I actually got this guy. I got his anchor. Everything was Punky Brewster for like 10 seconds. I stole his pineapples. Like, who really won this engagement? You know what I mean? I took all his food that was worthwhile. But I didn't really know where to be on the ship before he spawned in. So I kind of just stayed in here and was like, sure, I'll try to do that. And you play stupid games, you're gonna get stupid prizes, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I saw a guy on the ferry while I was there, just unrelated to our fight, so I had to wave at him. And I fixed the ship after I come back. Start trying to get in the fight with him, and I absolutely sniped his mast here with that. Like, that was probably one of my best shots so far. And while I was trying to get up there, I was trying to get a good angle on him, but this guy is so good at navigating his sloop. He cut in front of me for the angle there. Granted, I didn't have good position anyway, but I was trying to cut right even further. This guy was just on it. He read me like a book. And yeah, whenever I get this close, I want to board, but I think I've nailed it down. It's got to be my sensitivity or something. I do not know yet. I'm still kind of dialing in what I need to work on, but just by watching this, it looks like, sensitivity issues. I can't turn as fast as I need to sometimes, and I ADS way too much. I'm not a guy that likes to hip fire or anything, so I commit to ADSing. I put myself in this death funnel here. He jumps me. Done. He is superior in his pirate to pirate for sure. I can do a little bit of naval, but that guy was leagues above me in terms of hand-to-hand combat. Like, I just couldn't keep up. But we were able to do a few more passes with the fella and even get some decent hits on him, but he had so many chain shots that I kind of had to always be on, like, I was like watching the mast always. It was like always on that. Even though I can one ball him here and there, I just couldn't actually like juggle the pressure I had and getting damage on him. He eventually knocks my mast again. I'm almost out of there. I get it repaired, and he's coming in for another swoop on me. Like, this guy is definitely on top of his game. But I was able to snipe him there a little bit to keep him from fully putting pressure on me. Another mass shot with just cannonballs there by this guy. Like, I raised that mast like 6 times. I tried to catch it like 3 or 4. He eventually knocks it down again while I was bucketing and trying to cannon, just like juggling everything I can to keep my boat afloat here. And while I'm doing that, he comes in for that one ball, that one swoop that just had to do me in, right? But believe it or not, that wasn't even the end of the fight. It was still going. Somehow he hadn't sunk me by then, and I was able to kind of juggle the pressure and try to get shots on him, but my boat wasn't really turning very well, so I was kind of jumping in between. Oh, do I have shots? No? Okay, let me bunk it. Oh no, let me try to get shots again. Like, it's back and forth until I just got overwhelmed completely. I heard the death creak of the sloop, and I knew I was done for, like, right then and there. But this guy deserves it, alright? I didn't deserve to win that. So, after all of this, we go ahead and queue up again. I'm feeling okay at best by this point in the day. And, it's starting to go off okay. I'm getting an open volley shot on this guy. I even hit a few. I don't remember if this guy hit me very much there, but it was going pretty alright for the both of us in terms of, like, who's hitting who there. I noticed this guy was actually doing pretty well in terms of like keeping his angle and everything, but I was able to get one chain shot. He was able to return the favor with a chain shot. I think he actually managed to get my mast here, and I was just in a full-on spin with them, trying to apply pressure best I could, while also trying to repair and bucket, getting fire bombs. This man throws some more fire. I throw blunders, but I forgot for a millisecond that I had a bone collar. So I throw it at him, and I fucked up, do a second one while I was repairing. And that was probably the worst thing I could do, but that scaly right there just showed me he was boarding. So it was actually kind of good to do it. And, I switched to the sword not long ago. Right there, you saw me trying to do my sword, like, what is it? It's not a lunge, sword dash, it's a sword dodge, like the little, like, hop we do, when you block and jump with it. Tried to do that and I got caught so early, and I can't keep track of this guy. I didn't hear him on the other side. He anchored me. The Skellies are helping me, but they're not doing enough. But they did kind of body block him right there, and he just dips right then and there. This fight was pretty much over by this point in time, but I just, I couldn't even really get anything, so I just kind of accepted it and was like, all right, I'll go down with the ship. I ain't ashamed of it. Like, I'll take the loss on the chin. So after that hard fought loss there, I went ahead and queued up even further beyond, the motivation I had at this point. It was like all-time low. So I figured new opponent, who dis, do the opening volley. Hopefully this match will go a bit better for me. And he actually, shot at me. I was a little worried that this guy wasn't really firing his cannons or anything. He kind of just did one defensive shot, and then I learned why. Just seemed like another lost farmer for the day, and it's unfortunate that I started running into these kind of guys because that was the first one, and then I queued up very next game, and I figured I would have an actual fight here. But as soon as I see the sloop, as you can see, sails raised, I'm thinking, what's going on here? Why is this guy just sitting out in the middle of nowhere? Well, it turns out this man is on fire. He's also a lost farmer, sadly. But at this point in the day, I'm willing to accept the free wins, like, I thank these guys, but I don't condone it, of course. After sitting at the tavern for a bit, getting my mind straight, I decided to queue up again and see what happens. And let me just say, a lot of these ones that people actually want to fight you in start out kind of the same. So I kind of recognize, like, this guy wants to fight me, and I was like, okay, that's a bet. I actually want some fighting experience. I need to get the reps in. Opening volleys are nothing to write home about. Me and him are kind of poking at each other, but not even in like good ways. Like, I hit him a little bit, he hits me a little bit, and this kind of goes back and forth for a few passes until man, I try to go to the underneath to repair, and he gets a good cannon shot on me. Right here, I know I cannot do my normal antics. I have to do this properly. And change to the sword so I'd have a better chance instead of a blunderbuss in IRH. I'm better with a sword. I have so much time with it in comparison. Like, the double gutting lifestyle is not one that I'm used to, but I can do a sword. Usually, I usually use flintlock with it, but as you can see here, we have a little bit of a tussle. I thought this man was gonna hide right there with his blunderbuss, and I just kind of went for it. Figured I had a bone collar on me. Absolutely, I'm gonna use that. I saw this guy eat on his way down, but I don't think he had the best of food, and I got him with just a normal sword combo. But my boat really sealed the deal here for me. I stayed on to make sure he was sunk, and for the first time, I won by myself, a real win. Seeing that streak increase to one felt so good because I actually earned it, okay? That was the best part of that, was I earned that one. But it didn't last very long because the very next match I had, I queued up and I get a default sloop, right? Now, there's a little bit of stigma around this. They're either completely new players or they're like some of the most ultimate PvP lords you've ever encountered. I got the first one here. I think that they were just new players or they were also just lost farmers, it seems, because they didn't even shoot at me. I thought he was on the water he's like gonna come onto my boat or something, but that's the reason why his boat wasn't doing anything, because he was scuttling. So totally cool. This next game is probably the most scuffed one I had. Just from where we landed, you can see these rocks are ridiculous. There's even a little bit of lag. What more could you ask for in a fight? You know what I mean? And let's just say the first opening pass was okay at best, but a lot of this fight is us just trying to like navigate around this and kind of outplay each other a bit. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go around here, but actually turn around. Like, we did a lot of that, me and this guy, but nothing really came of it. But this pass here was interesting. He didn't go for the cannon. He went for a bone collar. So I decided, let's see what happens. And yeah, well, oh no, anyway, back to business. Went ahead and tried to get another pass on this guy, and this is how most of them looked. It was just us kind of shooting long range, him kind of just going straight at me instead of us trying to, like, do the spiral, set that up. He kind of just wanted to head straight at me and either turn at the last minute, get a few shots, or throw something like fire bombs, essentially. And this went on, as you can see, it's nighttime now. I'm out here trying to get chain shots on his mast, and it's been so long in game that the sun has gone down, okay? A lot of my fights, like I said earlier in the video, go like this because it's just a battle of attrition. If they have the supplies and they can repair and build and all that, it just is hard to sink people sometimes, man. They know how to do it, they're gonna do it properly. I've just learned it by fighting these few people today, like it's crazy. So, while we're doing these passes and actually hitting each other, I can't really hit anything, but this guy was able to kind of lock it in and really hit me with some of these. And he even got me with a cursed ball. I think it was the poison one, but it felt like it was like a limp ball or something because I couldn't move properly. Well, he just hits the mast not once but twice pretty well there, and I have to repair while trying to catch it. He's actually able to put like proper pressure on me to the point where he's got a spiral set up. I'm out of the angle again, just like a few matches ago where it's all coming back to me and I have to kind of let the boat just turn for me and I try to get cannon shots on him, but the mast catches me as I'm trying to go around and get water. It's not good to have your mast down and try to shoot on the right angle there. It's just not ideal. And while I was trying to eat, she filled up with all the water and eventually led to this. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my suffering through the first day of Golden Glory.